TK, the Raisin Man.
All right, so right back here with you. Now we getting into the Chargers, man, with your boy Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. Last year, of course, 11-6, lost in the wild card round. Now they got them at 9.5 on Bet MGM here with the win total. And a strength of schedule ranking of 12 toughest in the NFL. So the Chargers, you've seen a different vibe, a different style, a different Chargers team, man, under Jim Harbaugh here, Pat. So what did you see from them last year, man, that impressed you the most, man, with the Chargers?
Last year, what impressed me the most is Jim Harbaugh working his Jim Harbaugh magic with this team and turning them into a smash mouth type team with Justin Herbert as their quarterback. You know, he didn't succumb to the NFL fan bases and the NFL fans of tossing the ball all over the yard. They ran that ball and they ran it well last year, and it allowed Justin Herbert to develop more into a quarterback that can turn into a clutch quarterback because you're not putting so much on his plate. And I think that helped them out tremendously, man. And they did better than I thought they would be without a legitimate number one receiver out there, because Johnston is not a number one receiver. So they won games the old-fashioned way, defense and running that damn ball. And I do believe they're going to continue that trend. And I'm going to tell you why later when we go into key additions and things, why I think this team is definitely going to be something to reckon with next year.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And to be honest, you know, it's about time. It's about time with the Chargers, man, because they always seem to be one of these teams that, you know, are good, but just not good enough. Now it seems like they're actually building an identity and building towards being a true Super Bowl contender. Let's take a look at what they're actually building, but we got to start with what they lost here. Of course, a couple wide receivers, DJ Chalk, Josh Palmer, tight end Hayden Hurst. Big one here, Joey Bosa going over to the Bills. Asante Samuel Jr., also big loss there. He's actually still a free agent, I believe. But which one of these losses, man, you think is going to hurt the Chargers the most, man, going into this 2025 season?
To be honest with you, I think they played enough games without Joey Bosa to not feel the supreme hurt from Joey Bosa not being there. I'm just going to be honest with you. That dude was hurt. And they, you know, Poona Ford hurt still. I think Poona Ford was one of those big run stoppers that helped them last year as far as being a very good run stopping team. Asante Samuel Jr. might not even be a loss. He might come back on a 1-year deal because he didn't get the money that he was looking for on the market. And Christian Fulton, I don't think is a huge loss either because he kept getting torched last year. When you needed something against the Chargers, Christian Fulton was the guy to go after. So, it is what it is. And, you know, Hayden Hurst might hurt a little bit because Jim Harbaugh loves the tight ends over there. in his offenses, and losing Hayden Hurst, who's that guy that's a security blanket to move the chains, that may hurt them a lot. But all those other guys, I don't see too much of a loss on there. Even Joey Bosa, because he never played.
Yeah, man. Joey, gotta get out there, man. You gotta get out there, man. Now in Buffalo. But let's see what they added and what they did here in free agency, Pat. Off rip, Najee Harris, man, love that signing, man. Pairing him with Jim Harbaugh, man, and what Jim Harbaugh likes to do. Also like the Mekhi Becton signing. They also signed a couple wide receivers, Jalen Reagor, Mike Williams. Speaking of tight ends, Tyler Conklin getting a 1-year deal over there. Bringing back Khalil Mack, of course, that was a no-brainer. I think so. And, a couple other additions here, Bud Dupree. But talk a little bit about some of the guys they added, man, and who do you think can have the biggest impact on this team? Well,
biggest impact is going to be Khalil Mack coming back to them, and Bud Dupree coming back. Those were two huge signings after losing to Joey Bosa. You still have your edge rush presence on there. Bringing back Tart after the loss of Poona Ford is very good. And I think they made a heck of a good signings, man, with Deontay Jackson and Elijah Molden to shore up that cornerback room in the backfield. You get Najee Harris, another bruising running back to replace Gus Edwards after he left. Mike Williams comes back, familiarity with your quarterback, Justin Herbert. Bradley Bozeman coming over to play center for you. I mean, Tyler Conklin, Hayden Hurst, Tyler Conklin, hand in hand. I think they did very good this offseason, man.
Yeah, they building something definitely over there, man. With the Los Angeles Chargers, man. And, you see an identity. You see a direction. You know what I'm saying? You see what they're trying to do, man. And that's a shout out to the coach, man, and the GM over there, man, and what they're doing. So, let's take a look at some of what they did in the draft, some of the draft picks that they got here. My man Omari in Hampton, man. Shout out to the Tar Heel. My man Omari in Hampton, man, being taken in the first round. And again, it's the style that the Chargers are trying to put together here, man. You seen they signed Najee Harris. You got Omari and Hampton in there now. Trey Harris out of Mississippi, man, definitely like that signing, man. Another target for Justin Herbert. Jamari Carwell, Carnard adding to their defense, man, their pass rush group, man. But which one of these draft picks, man, do you think have the biggest impact, man, here with the Chargers, man, going into the 2025 season?
Man, I'm going with the 1-2 punch in the first and second round. I think they knocked it out the park. Omari and Hampton paired with Najee Harris. That's dope. It's going to be absolutely dope. Herbert, hand that ball off and hand it off frequently. And those monsters do what they're supposed to do. Amari and Hampton and Najee Harris helps out your quarterback tremendously. Those days of, Justin Herbert throwing for 5,000 yards or almost close to 5,000, I think those days are over as long as Jim Harbaugh is the head coach over there. And Trey Harris, look at that dude's route running to be that big. I think he's going to have a huge impact on this team. I do believe he will replace Johnston as the number one receiver as the season moves along. And there are some big-ass guys at the receiver position. And then you got McConkey to back them up. He's going to work the middle of the field. He showed that he can be a star, which was your guy coming out of college that year. I liked Lad McConkey as well. He was pretty – I liked him coming out of college. I knew he was going to do what he needed to do. But you got Trey Harris, Johnston, and Mike Williams at the receiver positions out there with McConkey working the middle of the field. Yeah, and a dude that I want guys to focus on with the Chargers going into this year, the 5th-round draft pick of Rondé Gaston II. If you remember his father, he was a receiver, but Rondé Gaston at tight end can absolutely do wonders for Justin Herbert as well. I think they built a nice roster around that kid Herbert, and he needs to take it to the next level. But what you think?
Yeah, man. Speaking of the roster, man, we'll take a little bit of a look here at the roster here. Starting on offense, man. As you can see, they definitely have done some things here, man. That offensive line, though, bro. Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, Mekhi Becton, Joe Alt. It can move mountains.
Nasty.
For Omarion Hampton, for Najee Harris. You know, they got Rocket Sanders as an undrafted free agent, man. That's your guy. Man, I'm telling you, like you say, Pat, hand the ball off, sir. Just hand the ball off, because that's all he got to do. That's all he got to do, man. And you got Lad McConkey that can work the middle of the field, you know what I'm saying, into the intermediate part. You know, we'll see what Trey Harris develops. And they're building a solid team, man. Just looking at the offense, man, what impresses you the most?
What impresses me the most is what you said across that offensive line. Rashad Slater, Pro Bowler. Zion Johnson can be a Pro Bowler. Bradley Bozeman can be a Pro Bowler. Mekhi Becton coming off his best season yet, and a Super Bowl win with the Eagles turned his career around. And Joe Alt, a high draft pick that has been very, very good. That offensive line will keep that offense on the field. And guess what they did? Man. They got big guys at the receiver position because Herbert misses high. So you get big guys out there on the field, and Johnston, Trey Harris, and Williams. And you have the little guy that can move the chains in the middle of the field, Lad McConkey. This offense is built to break you down. Run the ball at you, run the ball at you, run the ball at you. Back shoulder throws, quick throws to McConkey. This offense is built to tear your defense down and make you guys just run around with your tongues hanging out because you're tired of tackling. That's what this offense is built around, and it helps out Herbert extremely, extremely well. Now, fantasy owners, I don't know about Justin Herbert as your quarterback going into this season.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to be that 30 to 40 touchdown guy anymore over there as long as Jim Harbaugh is the head coach, which is a good thing if you're cheering for the Chargers, not for stats.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I don't see it. Not with the running game that they building with that offensive line. Nah, son. They about to run that ball in that end zone. But looking at that defense, though, man, how do you think they stack up on defense, man? You still got Khalil Mack, like we talked about earlier, bringing back the Mack man here, man. A couple other additions, of course. Still got Derwin James over there with them as well as a leader in the secondary, man. But what you think about the defense?
I think the defense is going to be good again. And I think they're going to be a little bit better this year now that Christian Fulton's out there not getting scorched like he was last year. You got Cam Hart at one starting cornerback. You know, you got Deontay Jackson coming from Pittsburgh that did very well over there with Pittsburgh. Derwin James, when he is healthy, is a very good safety, but his health is going to determine, you know, a lot with this team. Are they superior to everybody else? No, they're a very good collective guys that go on that field and just get their jobs done to get off the field, and I think that's what's going to happen. People forget Tua Pulotu is very good. You got Bud Dupree to back those guys up. So you gonna see this Chargers team that week 1 game against the Chiefs. Yeah, you know they might be like, "Hey, look, Chief, it's a change of guard around here."
Yeah, man. Speaking of the week 1 game against the Chiefs, man, follow that by another division foe, 2 division foes, 3 in a row there for the Chargers to start this year with the Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos. Then you get the Giants, Washington, Miami, so on and so forth, man. But I think those first 3 games should set the tone for the Chiefs, man. I think you got to win 2 out of 3 here, man. Against those division opponents, man, to set off the season, man. That's very key, having those games back to back, like that, man, for them to start the season. What you think about the schedule, though?
I think the schedule, you can look at it in a bad way or a good way, starting off with those 3 division games back to back to back. You can look at it as a bad way as, man, if we don't win at least 2 of those division games, we can literally be under 500 in our division for this year. And when you're under 500 in your division, normally that doesn't spell too good for your team. But I think they could beat all 3 of those teams. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they match up well with Kansas City. I know they're better than the Raiders, and I think they match up very well with the Denver Broncos, because I believe they both have similar styles. Play hard defense, run the ball, and let's see who can outlast you. And I think that whole division is built like that, to be honest with you, because the Raiders, when we talk about them, they're building a similar type style as well. And then you get the Giants. Who knows what you're going to get with the Giants? Then you get the Commanders. Then you get Miami, who's a mess. Indianapolis is a mess. Minnesota, let's see what their quarterback situation is. Tennessee is a mess. Pittsburgh, let's see if their quarterback situation with Aaron Rodgers helps them out any. I don't think it will, but we'll see. Jacksonville is a mess. Then you get the Raiders again. Now you get to the meat. Philadelphia, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston, Denver, Detroit. That is your guy. That's what's going to determine their season right there. Yeah. If they could get out of there with a winning record, they will be in the playoffs. But that part of the schedule is ridiculous.
First 3 games, and then those last what we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games right there. Is going to be determine their season right there. I think they can float in the middle part of their season. You got teams like the Giants, the Colts, the Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville. They still trying to figure themselves out. Pittsburgh, you don't know about their quarterback situation. Minnesota's tough, and Miami, you flip a coin, which team going to show up for them. So. That's a part of the schedule. I think they can really stack up some wins, but that first 3 games and then that last portion of their season is definitely going to be key for the Chargers, man. And look, this is a team that should start to be talked about in the Super Bowl conversation here now, going into year 2 of Jim Harbaugh, this is a team that is, I'm not saying they're there, but they should start to be creeping into those conversations, man, because of the type of team that they're building with the Chargers, man. Because one thing in the playoffs, running game, good defense, going to take you far. Ask the dang on Eagles.
Yeah,
so that's what damn near Jim Harbaugh and them's over there trying to build. They're trying to build a tough team that can run the football, control the clock, play good defense, and a quarterback that can make tough throws, as you see there on your screen, but also not make dumb mistakes to cost you the game, which is what has plagued Justin Herbert in the past, and they're starting to clean that up, man. But I think what do we put the over under at for the Chargers? 9.5, man. What you taking here, Pat? Over under 9.5.
I'm gonna say this, man. If they can get out of that rough patch here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and those 3 games, so that is 10 games. If they can get out of those 10 games, let's just say 6-4 or 7-3, I believe they're a 10 to 11 win team easily. But they have to get out that rough patch. And I think they do it. I think they win 11 games again this year, maybe even 12. I like this Chargers team because of the way that they're coached and the way they have built this team they built this team like they don't have a upper echelon quarterback. You see what I'm saying? And him being an upper echelon quarterback, just use your talent the way that you're supposed to use it, and don't make any mistakes. That's a formula to win with a guy with that talent at the quarterback position. You're putting him on a team like he's a Trent Dilfer, and he's way better than what Trent Dilfer was ever be. So, yeah, I think this could be 11 to 12 win team, 10 at the very least. So, yeah, I'm going over.
I'm going to take the over. And I hate to give the Chargers any credit when it comes to betting, because if you know about betting, you know I don't trust the Chargers. But this is a different Chargers team. I think they're turning the corner, and I'm like you. I'm looking in that middle part of the schedule, and I think they stack some wins. You know, You can beat the Giants. You can beat the Commanders. You can beat Miami. You can beat Indiana. You know what I'm saying?
You can
Minnesota.
Beat you can beat Tennessee.
You can beat
Pittsburgh. You can beat Jacksonville.
Those are all beatable. A beatable part of your schedule. What the test is going to be for them is within their division, because their division is so tough. You know, you can go and beat the Eagles at home. You can beat Dallas in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? In that last portion of the schedule, you know, Houston. Who knows? You know what they got going on over there, man. That's a team that, you know, we'll preview later on. But you know, they got some question marks too, I believe. But this Chargers team, I definitely think, is trending upwards, and I'm going to take the over on the Chargers here this year, over 9.5. Now we'll see what they do in the playoffs. That's always been their little bugaboo. But as long as they get there, they're building the type of team that can win a Super Bowl, man. With the defense and running game that they've been stacking up over there. So, that being said, we are going to transition to the next team. We will be right back. We're going to talk about those Raiders. Be right back.